Hello, Professor. I'm doing a quick update for Milestone 2 to try to get some extra points. So I'm just going to quickly go over this for the stuff I did. So in my variety of weapons, you mentioned to kind of showcase um, like different variations of the weapons and just kind of add more uniqueness to them. So I will go ahead and showcase that um, in my weapons. So as you can see, I have a pistol here. Where it is a black body with a black stock and then a green sight, indicating that this is a pistol. It's very short. That's kind of what pistols look like within the game. So that is that variation. I have a rifle weapon here where it's a bit longer and it's brown with a longer stock. And then on the side of it, I have two white capsules, kind of just to indicate um, a bit more differency with this weapon. Like, ooh, this weapon's big and bulky. It can do quite a bit of damage, but you're gonna have to wait a couple of seconds to shoot it again. My shotgun weapon is blue with two outside sticks with extra two little um, red shooters, because what this weapon is supposed to kind of showcase is because it's a shotgun, it's naturally going to shoot in a 45-degree angle. So it's kind of indicate, oh, this weapon's going to shoot out multiple bullets at once. So it's just going to add a bit more of like pop to the weapon. It's kind of like, oh, this I know what this weapon is. It's a shotgun. So that way the player can easily distinguish between what gun is what. So those are the three different weapon variations. Um, for my code, it is the same as the last time for the others, but I'll just kind of do a quick recap. All of my weapons have a similar functionality through shooting, but the only difference between the pistol and the rifle is the time delay, because naturally rifles take a bit longer to reload and shoot, but they do a bit more damage, and then pistols are very fast, but they do a very low amount of damage. My shotgun weapon is pretty different, where it still does the same thing in terms of creating the bullet, the time delay, and stuff like that. But I have a projectile count variable indicating how many bullets will pop out at once when you shoot the gun. And then I'm also storing that in a for function where it's calculating how many are in the projectile count. And then it's actually going off of the criterion.ooleer where it's doing the arc of the weapon to showcase how far can this weapon shoot out the bullets. The projectile is the same thing as last time as well. All of the weapons are using the same projectile script in order to damage the enemy, and then along with damaging the player as well if the enemy picks up the weapon. But I'll go ahead and showcase in game the weapon differences here. Like I got the pistol. There's a pistol. I have a shotgun. As you can see, it shoots differently. The pistol shoots just once. And then the rifle, it's very long, but as you can see, it's taken a while to actually shoot the weapon because it's only got a 5-second timer. So that is the variety of weapons within the game. I do have one more weapon to show, but that will be for the new mechanic. So the next one is the pickups. So as you kind of saw with the variety of weapons with my pickups, I can pick up weapons. My enemies can pick up weapons. They can also pick up a heal pack as well. But how these are working in code is I have a prefab of the item I want, and then I am instantiating that pickup through a pickup script. So the pickup here is the abstract class, which inherits all of the other pickups. So if I have a health pickup, it's going to do the same thing. But so how it works is if the player collides in the trigger of the pickup, it will then pick up the object and go from there. And then it will also destroy the object because it will recognize if the player picked it up, it will destroy it. So in my weapons pickup script here, I have a weapon spawn where it will actually spawn the prefab of the item in the position, and then it will check to see if there is no pickup, respawn the pickup within a certain amount of seconds and instantiate it. So that is how those pickups work. However, I do actually have a separate thing where I am actually just have the pickup here, where when the enemies do die, they will drop that item and then it will be destroyed. But the reason why I have these weapon spawners here with the pistol, the rifle, and the shotgun is because I want to give the player the option to where it's like, oh, I want to use the pistol, they can go to the pistol pickup. It's kind of like in Call of Duty where with zombies, like, oh, they always have the option to go pick up, the MP5 again if they'd like. That's kind of the theme I was going with it. However, in my let me go to AI here. In my drop manager here, where I have a spawner for items, it actually has the health pickup, the pistol, and then the new mechanic gun as well, where once that player or enemy dies, it will then select a item here within this drop manager and then drop it into the world. So how that works is it checks to see what items to drop, which I've stored here, and then it has a drop weight, which is here. So how this works is it actually put that drop item in a list and then put it in a drop table. What this drop table does is it stores those items into a list within an array, and then it will check to see if those items are in that array. If so, add that drop weight to it, and then get the total of that drop weight, and then calculate to see if whatever number is higher. So like I can see that drop weight for the health pickup's higher than the pistol. The pistol will actually, or not pistol, the health pickup will drop more because it is a higher number, but the pistol will drop second highest because it's the second highest number, and then the slow gun pickup will only drop every now and then because it's more of like a wonder weapon. You want to have rarity to that game. So it's like, ooh, if this drops and it's like, oh, this is a great item, like use it, go pick it up, just to kind of add more excitement to it. And then it'll actually store that number of the variable in the array in an index, and then it'll return that, check to see if it's in the drop item. So I will go ahead and showcase these within the game. So as you can see, I have a health pickup. I can pick up the health. I have a pistol. The pistol will respawn if it wants. The enemy can pick up the weapon. As you can see, health pickup spawn, but they don't respawn. There's the pistol pickup again. But that is how the pickups work within the game. I was trying to get it to where it will showcase some of these newer ones, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust these numbers. Let's do 70 instead. Oh, I died with it. But it did drop a health pickup there. And then I do have, so as you can saw, like it did do the pickups. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to showcase was the code. So as you can see, all of my code had comments on it explaining like what each of these do. The weapon spawner, health pickup, the player controller, shotgun weapon, the projectile, the pistol. All of my code explains kind of, with the comments, explains what each of those things do, showcasing that. The new mechanic I have is another weapon where it is called the slow gun. It's kind of like the pistol, except what this is, it's kind of like a wonder weapon where it will also deal damage to the player or an enemy, but will also slow down them as well. So it'll decrease their speed by 1, allowing it to be like, so if the enemy picks this up, or an enemy happens to pick it up off of his fellow teammate, what will happen is if this hits the player's speed will slow down, making it harder for him, and there's a high chance he could die. So how this works is it's just like the pistol, where it still instantiates the bullet and everything, but in the projectile script here, where I have a separate bullet, because I want these bullets to be different, I have a slow projectile script here where it pretty much does the same thing, except it is calling a function called slow enemy if it hits the enemy, and then the same thing for the player if the player gets hit. So I will go ahead and showcase this in the pawn functionality, how that works. So down here I just have 2 functions with the slow enemy and then the slow player, where if it hits either one, it will slow their speed down by 1. So I'll go ahead and showcase this in game. This will only drop if when an enemy dies. So I have it set pretty low because I'm considering this to be kind of like a cool little wonder weapon. So its drop rate's really low. But to showcase this to you, I'm just going to add it into the game really quickly. Let's see. Oh, that was the weapon. I need the pickup. So if I go ahead and pick this weapon up, and then if I hover over an AI here, if you watch his speed, he goes to 4. Um, so that is, so if I just lower their speed, they'll eventually just get slower and slower. As you can see, they're harder for them to keep up with me, and they're slowing down to a point to where they just get to a lower spot there. So that is how that works, to where they actually just halt to a stop, and then basically it's an easy kill. As you saw, I just died there really quickly because of the shotgun. Um, but that is the new mechanic that I have within the game. So that is all of the updates I have for it to kind of get some extra points. I just kind of wanted to touch on the stuff that was missing, or just wanted some updates. The slow down weapon works as intended with no errors. So hopefully that made sense. So thank you.